The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Invisible Influence Series. If you're ready to massively increase your sales by leveraging the power of subconscious persuasion, then make sure you text the word COMPEL to 411321. That's COMPEL to 411321. And if you're outside of the United States, then use WhatsApp and text the word COMPEL to 1-909-741-1321. Make sure you put in your best email address because that's how we'll deliver the goodies. Welcome to the Influencer's Edge. This is the place where you come to get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques to leapfrog over the pack in sales, persuasion, and influence. Be sure you visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com. And while you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now sit back, tune in, and enjoy today's episode. All right, welcome to today's episode of The Influencer's Edge. We always have special guests here, but today is a very special guest, Dr. Terri Levine. Hello, Dr. Terri. Can I call you Terri or
call me Terri? We're friends. Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about Terri. She has an extensive biography, so I'm going to truncate it, if that's not a bad word. So Terri is known as the business mentoring expert with a heart. And having met you, I know that that's the case. You have a big heart. Terri is one of the world's top business and marketing strategists. She's known for consulting with business owners to help them from ineffective traditional sales, marketing, and operational methods into effective, authentic, and transparent people-centered communication models. Let's pause just a minute, because as I gave you notice before we began the interview, if there's something juicy in the biography, I'm going to pause and ask you to unpack that. We all have different definitions of authentic and transparent. So what do you mean by authentic and transparent? And why is that so important in your way of doing business?
I'm glad you asked. So the word heartrepreneur for me stands for transparency, authenticity, and integrity. So let's talk about authenticity first. Authenticity is don't follow what everyone else is doing. Don't talk like someone else. Don't post like someone else. Don't teach what someone else teaches. Come from your own experience, skill set, and knowledge, and what rings true for you, even if it's contrary to what other people may think or believe.
That takes tremendous courage, by the way. So I want to how you give your clients that courage. Please continue.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So the second thing that's really important to me is transparency. My client family members, people on social media, my email list, they know a lot about me. They know about my life. They know about my struggles. They know about what's going on in my family, what's been going on health-wise, every single aspect. And the reason is, we all know this, people do business with people they know. And many of people I've known over the years can look like something amazing on Instagram or social media, and that's not who they really are. Let people in and show them who you really are. Be vulnerable and transparent. And Paul, I'll teach by example. I have a client family member have this like bio and all this social media stuff. Nothing was her voice. And I basically took it all away and I had her speak in her voice and tell her true story. Her Instagram got, ready for this, 8 million views on her post where she was open, transparent, and honest.
Terri, so many people have so much fear centered around being themselves. They think no one will listen to them or they're not interesting. How do you give your clients, I know you give your clients the technical details of how to do it. Okay, but how do you take your family? And I love that you express that they're your family. Your clients are your family. That's a beautiful thing. I've never heard that before. It shows how much you care, that you are a entrepreneur yourself. So how do you teach your clients? Granted that you teach some technical stuff,
Yeah.
How do you teach them to have the courage to do that? I'm someone who doesn't care what other people think. So I don't, for me, it's not a big deal, but there's so many people who grew up in households who were discouraged from speaking their truth. In a sense, you're a healer. You are healing your clients. So can you talk a little bit about that and how you give your clients the courage to do this?
Yeah, it's a great topic. It's interesting because clients come in and they want business and sales and marketing help, and clearly they all want to make more money. And I start them off with things that I bring in about themselves. They're ready to get to tactical. I'm like, oh, no, 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 you are so not ready for that. So I'm also a positive psychologist and I have a PhD in clinical psychology. So I start with, what do you believe? Why do you believe that? What is it you think? So if you're afraid to put yourself out there, you've got some programming about, I'm not good enough. You care about what people think, right? Believe me, I had all of that myself up until I learned how not to have that. I don't care what anyone thinks about me. And so we start, what I always say, from the inside out, Paul. We work on you, and then we work on your business. And my clients have overcome all kinds of beliefs. I do that in a very different way than the way most people do it. And I do it by bringing in my own life experience, as well as positive psychology, clinical psychology, and my 9 certifications in life coaching.
Wow. Wow, that's a beautiful thing. I'm sure you've had this recognition yourself, but I think what makes you unique, and I want unique people on this show. I don't want the kind of guests that everyone has. This makes you a healer. You get, have you recognized that about yourself, that you, in a sense, you're a healer for your clients?
I'm actually glad you brought that up. I got goosebumps when you said that. I have a testimonial from a client, a video testimonial. It's probably been on my computer for about 3 months. A crying testimonial where she said, I hired healers, I hired personal coaches, and I came to you to be my business consultant. And I've had more healing from you. I get along better with my family. I have more self-confidence. And as a direct result of all of those things, I have the lifestyle I want and the income I want. Yes. So yeah, a client pointed it out to me, Paul.
That must touch you so deeply.
It does. Even talking about it, I feel love.
See, I told you before the show started that I would ask a different sort of question. So let's go on. Let's go on your biography. So authentic, transparent, centered communication models. You have over 30 years of business. You don't look like it's possible for you to have 30 years. Terri has over 30 years of business, sales, and marketing experiences, helped over 6,000 business owners reach revenue goals they never thought possible. That's amazing. She's one of the world's foremost experts on how to market a coaching business. She's built and sold several multi-million-dollar companies. Where you find the time to breathe and sleep? Where did you find time to sleep?
Let me say something about that, because people are shocked by this. My company, Entrepreneur, we do about 3 to 4 million a year. I personally work 21 hours a month, and I teach my client family members how to set up companies, not businesses, which is what most people have, trading time for money, so that they have a life and a lifestyle first. And then they understand how to set up a company that is not dependent on them. So they have a legacy and a wealth dynasty. They could pass it to their family. They could sell it. Because in most cases, Paul, if someone gets sick or someone passes or whatever it might be, or they just want to lay on the beach in Tahiti, they can't, because the model that most people are using is, you pay me, I trade my time for the money you gave me. That's
right.
A limited way to run a business. I teach people to own a company. Very, very different.
That's a wonderful distinction. I've never heard. I may have to turn around and hire you.
We would have fun together for sure.
What's that?
We'd have a lot of fun together.
I think I don't know. I think I may be one of those rare clients you fire, because I could be obnoxious. She's a best-selling author of over 40 books. Again, I've written a few books, 2 of them, and one of them really great, but how in the world do you write 40 books? That's Stephen King level, although you're not writing
No, I'm
four.
not writing. Let me say that when I was in, I believe it was third grade, I still remember this. My teacher said to me, I was writing poetry and short stories. I wrote an article for the newspaper in New York. And my teacher said to me, "You're an author at heart, never stop writing." And the next day she gave me this gorgeous notebook. I still have it.
Wow.
And I write every day, whether I'm writing a book, writing an article, or just writing for myself. It's a skill set that comes naturally to me. I could sit down and write a book today and have it ready tomorrow. I tell people, if that doesn't come naturally to you, don't do it. Do what is your natural skill set, not something that's not easy, effortless, joyful, and fun. So that just happens to be a hobby of mine. That's all.
A hobby. Wow.
And I ghostwrite for other people if they don't enjoy writing.
All right. Now, let me ask just some of the questions that you gave me to ask, because it's part of how we do the show. Tell us first and foremost, it's the last question you submitted, but to me, it's the most interesting question, just to me. What is the conversion equation?
I knew you were going to start there.
Did you?
I just knew, yeah. So I wrote a book by the same name, The Conversion Equation, because what I see in business, and having worked this many years with this many business owners, is that people are not doing the 4 steps that actually get people to pay attention and buy from you. So the first step is that you have to interrupt people. Think about it. We are bombarded with marketing messages, right? I mean, I just go on social media for a minute, and between the sponsored ads and everybody promoting it, and then you look at email and your Gmail has you were bombarded. So you have to learn how to interrupt people and stop them so they pay attention. The second part of the conversion equation is you must instantaneously engage them. Because if they're not engaged with your whatever it is, content, email, video, podcast, they're gone. So you have to learn, how do you quickly engage the interested person? The third thing is, don't make an offer instantly. Got one in my email today, and the offer was instant. We don't even have a relationship. So the third part is you educate. I love to educate. Give free value, give free content, help. And then the fourth part is offer. And I like to make an offer by extending my hand and giving away something that is the highest value for free, to give back and pass it forward. That's the conversion equation. The book goes.
I got it. Now, embedded inside that offer, is there an opportunity to purchase something for you, or an opportunity it's just an offer?
Yep. And that's what most people do wrong. They make an offer with an intention as, I'm going to sell you something. I have people right now, they're going through my 5-day boot camp completely free. I extend my hand at one point and say, let me teach you how to make an offer, and here's what it looks like, and here's one. Could care less if somebody buys, and that's a big difference. And I'm going to say that again. I could care less if somebody invests a dime with me. I show up every day. I've got a little bracelet on. It says serve and create. I show up every day to serve and create. If I've served and created, the backside of my bracelet has a check mark. My day is done. And so I don't care if you buy. And that's part of the problem. People are so desperate. They're hunting for a sale, and all of their risk-free offers aren't done because they choose to serve and create and help. They're looking and hunting for a client. Even from day one, I didn't do that. And I was able to get 30 clients in my first 30 days in this industry.
Let me give you a little pushback from standard traditional marketing. I like to push back on
Good.
yes, because it brings out the best of them. The vast majority of marketers would say at some point you have to give them a call to action. You have to tell them how to hire you. If you don't tell them how to hire you, they're not going to know.
I would say it's probably too soon to tell them how to hire you. How do you know that they're a good fit? How do they know they're a good fit? It's too soon. Give them as much value and education as you can. Then you see if you think they're a good client family member. As people go through my boot camp and they're uploading homework in the Facebook group, I'm like, that person really would be good. I can help that person. At the end of the boot camp, I could say, hey, Paul, I've seen you post your home play every day in the Facebook group. I've been helping you. If you would like my help, let me know. It's that simple. That's my call to action. And I only extend my hand to the people I truly want to help, because I don't want any client family members that I don't love. And that's why most of my client family members stay forever.
Do you think this circles back to your background as a clinical psychologist? Because I remember being in therapy and the therapist said, I don't work with anyone I couldn't in some way come to love.
So I'm not sure that it does, and I really appreciate you putting that out there. I think it comes from me having been CEO of one of the largest healthcare corporations in the United States and seeing how they could care less about their employees and the clients. And I got this taste in my mouth and said, I'm going to disrupt the way people traditionally do business. I'm only going to work with people I love and adore. And that's where, for me, it came from.
Well, you disrupt with love. I'd like to disrupt with a little bit of impishness. So that's a pretty remarkable. You're a loving disruptor. I don't know if you've ever thought of yourself.
I never thought of that. No, I like that.
Well, I'll send you my therapy bill later. I've had I'm vulnerable to an audience. I've had extensive therapy and I need refunds on all of them because obviously it hasn't worked. Let's ask some more. What would you suggest the business owner do more of? I think we've covered that, but go ahead and
yeah, I mean, the number one thing I would say is just go look at everything that you have, whether it's emails, whether it's social media profile, whether it's your blog, whether it's your website. I mean, every single set that you have, and ask yourself, what am I talking about? Is it a big so what? Am I a cookie cutter like everybody else? No one cares. We give good quality. I've been in business 40 years. No one cares. People want to know what's in it for them, and you can't look like everyone else. The book Blue Ocean is one of my favorite books. It's amazing.
I love that book.
Mandatory read for my client family members. Mandatory. I don't do anything like any other coach, consultant, or mentor on the planet. And all of my clients have a distinct way of showing up because we find our authentic way of doing it.
I'm loving this. This is fantastic. I do want to talk to you about becoming one of your clients if you don't think I'm too strange.
I think we would fit well because you're not afraid to show your uniqueness.
This is how I was raised in the family. Like, let it all hang out. I care deeply about other people, but I don't care what other people think about me. Exactly. And I think that's what you need as an entrepreneur. But this show is only 90% about me, not entirely. Why are you focused on impact, influence, and income? I think those three I's, you pretty much unpacked it, but what exactly do you mean? How do you influence in an ethical way? And what in your example, in your mind, what would be an example of unethical influence?
Oh boy. So first, influence for me is helping people in a way that will transform their business lives, health, relationships, whatever you do, and make it better. So influencing people to transform. What I believe many people think influence means is I'm going to persuade you. I'm going to pitch you. I'm going to manipulate you. I'm going to use NLP. I'm going to overcome your objective.
Whoa, I love NLP.
I have nothing. I use NLP, and there's nothing wrong with NLP if you use it for the greater good. And by the way, if I ever use an NLP phrase, my client family members will tell you, I say to them first, this is NLP. This is neuro-linguistic programming. Write this phrase down. I rarely use NLP. I'm using it here because. Right. However, we have to be careful. There's a lot of marketers who know hypnosis and NLP, and I can smell that from a mile away. And they take a lot of people's money, and many of them are fake experts. That's the wrong kind of influence.
Well, I'm just curious, as you become aware of just some of the ways your ideas about NLP are now shifting, how that begins to cause you to think, wow, this really is a good thing. No, I'm just playing with some unethical NLP.
Let me just speak to that for 1 minute. NLP, took courses in it because I think it's ingenious. I know it is. I just see too many people not using it.
Yes.
I want to just be very cautious about learn it, use it, not in a manipulative way.
Right. We actually had the co-founder of NLP, Richard Bandler, on the show.
Oh, I love Richard.
Yeah, we had him on. He went on for 90 minutes. Usually I keep the guests to 20 or 30, but when Richard Bandler wants to talk, I let him talk.
I'll be listening. Yeah, that's great.
Let's see. How did you've already said how you put this to work in your business. Let's see. You've already answered, what would you suggest the business do less of? You already answered all of the suggested questions, just in the way I put them to you. One of the things one of my mentors, James Malinchak, said is people want to hear your mess to success story. They don't want it to be about them, but they do want to hear your mess to success. Tell us a little bit about your mess.
So I'm going to lovingly and politely disagree with that and tell you that I have heard that I've been in business 43 years. I've heard that for 43 years. People could care less about my story. What people care about is what result can I guarantee for them? I tell my client family members every day, stop telling your story, stop using the word I, stop using the word me and my. No one cares. They care about the radio station WIIFM, what's in it for me. So I see too many people sharing their whole story. Quite frankly, I don't care about your story. If I'm going to give you my money, what is the result you're going to do for me? Your life story isn't my life story. So number one, I don't have a mess to success story. And the people that I follow and that are really successful, one of them I fly to his private island every year and meet with. He wasn't a mess to success. And most of the mentors that I've had were not a mess to success. And I personally, and I'll say it again, very lovingly and firmly, don't follow what everyone else is doing. Tell whatever the client family member might need about the result that they are waving their hand for, saying, I really need this result. Can you offer it? Yes, and I will in fact guarantee it, or I'll give you your money back. That's my view.
I want pushback from me, pushback from you. I think that makes it an incredible interview. Terri, you have been a wonderful guest. What a great way to start my morning. I'm not necessarily a morning person, but where are you located, by the way? What part of the country?
So I live in 3 different places. Today, I happen to be in Pennsylvania. Tomorrow, I'll be in my home in Mexico. And then I also live at a beach house in New Jersey part of the year.
Oh, wow. Good for you. I'm stuck in beautiful, sunny San Diego.
Yeah, not a bad place to be stuck, my friend.
Terri, you've offered so much incredible value, and you've really revealed the heart of someone who's not only heart-centered. I think you're a healer. The way you get people to shift their beliefs, I think you're doing healing work, and I think it's a beautiful and unique thing. How can my listeners continue the conversation with you?
So they can go over to 6 Figs in 6 months and get an incredible masterclass. I'm giving it to your folks totally free. Oh, wow. And I recommend that they take those ideas and write them down. And they can also go to my Digital Marketing for Coaches and Consultants Facebook group. In there, they're going to get a link to a 5-day boot camp where I literally train you, teach you, help you, complimentary.
You walk your talk, and that's a rare and beautiful thing. Thank you. You've moved me. So, from my heart to your heart, thank you so much for being on the Influencer's Edge. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you again, Terri.
Thank you, Paul.
The Influencer's Edge is brought to you by the Invisible Influence Series. If you're ready to massively increase your sales by leveraging the power of subconscious persuasion, then make sure you text the word COMPEL to 411321. That's COMPEL to 411321. And if you're outside of the United States, then use WhatsApp and text the word compel to 1-909-741-1321. Make sure you put in your best email address because that's how we'll deliver the goodies. Thank you for tuning in to the Influencer's Edge, where you get the latest breakthroughs, cutting-edge insights, tools, and techniques so you can leapfrog over the pack in sales, influence, and persuasion. Remember to visit our website at www.theinfluencersedge.com to enjoy even more great episodes like this one. We look forward to seeing you again on the Influencer's Edge Show.